Hello, guys. How's everyone? Hey, this is RubyKaurSingh with the Real Estate New School. Here we are actually covering the investors' questions and answers and investor series and learning all about um, getting into, being an investor. So we actually covered a lot in previous chapters. So you might have to, go back and watch those videos, please. Um, but let's get into, today, let's talk about flipping houses. Okay. So you might say, okay, Ruby, what is flipping houses? Okay. Flipping houses, guys. Remember we just earlier uh, in our previous series, we talked about wholesaling, right? We covered everything about wholesaling. So if you want to know all those, please go back and watch those videos. Okay, but let's get into it. What is flipping houses? Well, thanks to especially those those HGTVs shows, right? Or DIY shows, uh, which is, do it yourself. Um, you're fixing the property. And other kind of similar, TV shows. House flipping show is one of that too, right? And that actually, the house flipping show has it became actually a widely known real estate investment option. So, but there's so much more that goes into, as we covered in previous chapters too, and we know that too, right? So much more goes into, if that, you know just the time of the show that they show it to you, okay, um on the television. And you need to be aware of everything else if you're thinking of stepping into this arena, okay, right? And that's why I'm trying to give you guys all these tutorials, all these lessons. These are free lessons, but these, with my experience, you guys can, you know, take advantage of that. And then there's nothing out there, that our teachings or somebody is helping you like this when you go in real world. Okay. So the the truth about flipping. Okay, let's just close your eyes and picture one of those flipping TV shows. Okay, on the TV. Suppose imagine that you are a buyer walking through the finished product. Everything is perfect right now. It might seem daunting when you applying the vision to your own situation. But the good news is that yours doesn't even have to look like that. So much of that is just a reality TV show. But the non-TV reality is that you really just need to make sure the house is structurally sound and all the key elements are there, like electric, plumbing, floors, walls, right? The basic stuff goes into the house, right? And they all are taken care of. So of course it should look nice, but being just a TV show isn't necessary. Plus, if you try too hard to decorate in a certain style, it might actually turns buyers away, and it also hurt your bottom line. Um, Another false impression of these kind of TV shows gives is how long renovation take, but not only it can unexpectedly problems, comes up when they are doing this, and it almost always does. But you also must have the factor in the permit approval, the inspections, the contractors, the laborers, the supplies, the time it takes to get customized feature made in these shows. This, as I said, and we've been covering all this throughout, right? In previous lessons, that there's a lot more goes into real life when you really get into it and when you have your feet wet, and then the reality is totally different. So this is why it's important that you're not just going out there and you're knocking out the walls and making a room bigger, and make sure you have a good contractor with you, a licensed contractor, and they can tell you what realistic schedule should look like for just to remember that they are also humans, ri- right? The contracts, they just don't know everything. They just look and don't know everything right there. They're not psychics, right? So this there are often issues that don't show up in the beginning, even with most diligent pre-purchase inspections. You can't tell what's hiding in the walls. There could be a leak that you don't know, right? Or until it rains, and then oh, the roof is leaking. There can be also be a problem with the unreliable, you know, shady contractors or subcontracts or annoyed, neighbors when you purchasing, this property. So who are, you know, then they are complain eh, complaining directly to you, at worst time, or they complain or file um, the complaints with the city, okay, or city regulations. So you make sure all these factors play the role in real life. So related to actually to the length of time of renovation, it takes place, and the amount of money it costs to hold the property, the longer time, the more money is costing to you. This include, the interest of any loan you took, the insurance you have to pay on the property, the, long term, any capital gains. I mean, the latter can be up to like, excuse me, can be up to like 20%. Obviously, it's a huge chunk of potential, you know, profit, or it might mean that you are losing the money. So house flipping is not just for the faint of heart, right? But for those who are willing to do the hard work and deal with the stress, it can pay off, you know, at the end. So let's talk about finding properties, okay? How do you find these kind of properties? Remember last we talked about wholesale, correct? We covered a lot in wholesaling. Now we're talking about the flipping houses, right? So finding these kind of, they are totally different than now wholesale properties. Keep in mind, okay, they are not same. It's totally different animals. So first, you have to realize that in making profit is knowing how to find the right properties. That's why I'm teaching you guys this. In the flipping blueprint, the complete plan for flipping houses and creating your real estate investing business, these kind of properties, the dirty dozens, right? These are the key words. Luke Weber, the business owner, right? He's in real estate investing business, a big investor. He used these words, that these keywords, that search how search for fixer upper, like flipping houses, not flipping, I'm sorry. Yeah, flipping houses properties. Okay. So when you work with someone who knows, who can guide you, and I, like myself, I've been in real estate for a long time, um, who can teach you and guide you step by step, this can help immensely, right? And these kind of properties sometime, you know, since I know how to find these properties, I can help you guys. When the list comes up, I'll be able to send it to you. That's how I send it to my investors, these kind of properties. So what kind of properties that, comes up uh, in this section? It could be, we call in real estate term is bomb. Bomb is like, it's called back on the market or bottom of the market. Okay. Um, they are these bomb properties, or the bottom of the market property, or the back on the market properties that keep coming back over and over and over, right? That's called bomb. Um, they are damaged properties. They are distressed properties, right? They are something happened and it has a do not enter properties, right? There might be the roof is gone, or the floor is gone, or you have to be very cautious even to enter into these properties. Okay. They are fixer upper properties. They are fixer properties. They are handyman's dream deal properties. They are must sell properties, right? That it has to be, the seller is in distress situation and has to sell it. Okay. They are reduced properties, right? Like we talked about the before, the back on market or bottom of the market properties. Okay, they are repair properties. They are short sale approval properties, right? Tool belt properties for contractors, right? So these kind of properties are comes in this we call flipping properties. Okay, so furthermore, I'm sure you understand after going through what I taught you guys in previous lessons about wholesaling. You can work with wholesaler, um, can be a excellent source of coming up with these properties once like a good wholesaler who knows what you are looking for, and they'll call you when they think you know that they got the property and that property is a right fit for you. You can find these you know wholesaler in the real estate investment groups, right? um, Online or social media or somewhere. But in addition, you can also place your own, ads online or in the paper that this is what you're looking for, or letting stating that you are a flipper um, who is looking for the properties like this, and you are interested in, connecting with the wholesaler. Okay. Uh, for these kind of properties, you need to know. Okay, listen, guys, listen. Okay, you need to know how to make these offers. Okay, and as with the typical purchase property, chances are your offer will be official, right? One using a like what they call realtor approved, but the general information you need for these RPAs, RPAs, Ruby, what is RPAs? I'm so sorry. Okay, so let me explain that to you. Um, RPAs are, it's called residential purchase agreement, that every time, you're buying or selling a property, you need general information to put that in that agreement. Okay, guys. What do you need for what is that general information, Ruby? We need, well, the general information you need is the address, the price, the name, your name, right? EMD, we covered that. Again, EMD is called earnest money deposit, that you are planning to buy this property. It might be that will stay either with the seller's title company, their attorney, or their CP, whoever they are using, that where the deposit will stay. And remember, we covered that last time in that it doesn't have to be a real big earnest money deposit. Okay, and the time frame for both due diligence on both sides and closings. All right, and then contingencies. Um, it could be, let me explain that to you. We covered that contingencies in previous section, but as we go along, I will explain that to you guys more. Um, but let me just go with the basic one. Contingencies are, it's inspection of the property, the appraisal of the property, the financing, right? That buyers, you know, did all the inspection, now the appraisal also, if they are getting a loan or they are appraising the property, that way you know that the exact market value, and if there's a, you know, any problem with the property, the appraisal will show the report. These are the reports, guys. The inspection reports are roof inspection. There's a, what you call that, pest inspection, termite inspection, right? So and also their financing, which is with the lender. Do lender will do all the appraisal and uh, to make sure that the property is valued at the RPA level, okay, which is residential purchase agreement. So, and the inspections, make sure you do. And I always tell my buyers, guys, don't just think about saving little money in the beginning. Okay, make sure, guys, that you do your inspection. You don't want to, okay, move into the house and here, see, raining season came and all of a sudden roofs are leaking. You're like, what? And now it's a raining season, you can't put a new roof, right? Or there's something other than, but the inspection, when you go through the inspection, that will come out all your, uh, it will show on your reports. So how you'll be paying also, that determine, that's also a factor. Are you getting a loan? Are you paying a cash? Okay. um, you have to have a proof, that proof that you have a money in hand. You have to have a proof from the lender that yes, um, that loan will go through, that everything is, approval of loan. Okay. So sometime those real estate purchase agreement, they require different information. Suppose if you're going to be a flipper, right? Flipper is like flipping up properties in different areas, multiple areas. It's actually a good idea, and get, to have these RPAs, residential purchase agreements, from all those areas. Okay, so you know exactly what it will be needed, because every area has, or state, or area, uh, has a different RPAs. Okay, because there's a different laws, there's different regulations in each locations. So it will save time for you guys, okay, in future. So, but make sure, if you are um, fixing up your fixer property, after finding the right fixer upper property, the second most important component is finding the right person to help you fix these properties, right? Everything in life, the right partner is so important in your life, right? So finding the right person who can help you fix these properties, right? And also, you know, the right contractor who knows what he is doing. We all heard these contractors, horror stories. So unfortunately, this is the one of the most, important point in this process. So if you are like a seasoned investor, suppose, okay, you are DIY, which is do it yourself, or a construction professional, or I would recommend have a like a solid, reliable contractor in your on your team. They'll be there for all your expert advice, and come up with the team and skilled work. They'll be able to, these contractors, they can, help you fix and move the process quickly. Okay. um, Remember, time is money. So saying, um, so don't waste, because these kind, if you don't have the right contractor, right partner with you, that can waste so much of your time, months, the years. Okay. And of course, you wasted all that money too with it. So furthermore, in your role as a flipper, it's your job to find these flipping deals. You make the contact, you set up the financing, um, you keep an eye on ROI. ROI is rate of return investment, um, and your bottom line. Okay, that is, keep spending on these deals. Okay, but if you are busy with the construction, these things get purchased aside, and of course you're not gonna grow, right? If you keep looking and keep making these mistakes, and you don't have the right partner in your team for, right here we're talking about right contractor. So how, when it comes, let's talk about, time to sell. um, how do you know that this is a time to sell, or how can you negotiate that? The best way to sell your home is to list it with either yourself online, or you find a realtor. Of course, you have to pay them fees and commission. So it's all up to you. You can do it yourself too. You can sell it yourself also. So whether you are listing yourself, listing mean you are the one who's selling the house, or you are handling over this part of the process, um, it's important to know all the best components goes into selling the house. So I sold so many homes very quickly myself, because being in this kind of work, sometimes I'm just putting the house on a market as a and then realtor as same day I start getting offers on those properties, and I'm able to sell it right there so fast. um I'll explain all that to you guys definitely, um in next sections as we go through. So it's you know putting these offer, the negotiations, sometimes it's very it's a process, it can intimidate people. Okay. um it can intimidate both you, your buyer, um because both sides, they are trying to get the best deal as possible, right? And only if you not fair, then it's not a win-win situation, right? So negotiating, sometimes it plays a big factor also, um, in um, professional service, as a, I'm talking about as myself, as a real estate agent. Sometimes I have to go back and forth in those contracts, and I have to write these addendums, to what it need to be changed, or how we can negotiate counter offer. That's called counter offer, when you send an offer, then counter offer, right? Or prices that both parties has to agree, which is buyer and seller, right? So however, by learning all this, uh, you can, if you are fair, if you see, okay, it's a win-win situation um, for both parties, which is buyer and seller. Okay, and then yes, you can get the price you want for that property. Um, Another major factor plays role in this is the motivation to sell, right? As a seller, that's a big element. So, uh, and same as for motivate, you have to find a motivated buyer. Motivated buyer want the best deal, and you, the seller, want the best price, right? So if you know how to make this work together in a win-win situation, uh, and working under the pressure, because time frame, you know, the competition, the information, the communication, all these are big elements. These are the major elements in this section. Okay, guys. So what you say, okay, Ruby, how do I, or what do I need to do in that, as a to find a motivated a flipper to sell. So you have to see that, number one, time on the market, pressure of maintenance and upkeep. Okay, how long it's been on the market, that property, how um, motivated the seller is that they cannot maintain the property or upkeep. Okay, um, how much they are emotionally involved in the mental stress of you know that they can't handle it no more, and they just, that's it, they put their hands up and then they say, no, I just want to, that's it, I want out of this property. So selling your your flip is actually a multi-phase process. um, Actually, the key to major key role it plays in this section is definitely uh, the negotiation. Your emotions are in check. You don't want to end up settling for a lot lower price, because you let your emotions get the best of you at that time, right? So worry is powerful motivator. If you are in constant state of like anxiety about the mounting and the holding cost, you feel the pressure, and it can wear you down, guys. All right. So also, like, finding the right buyer, remember, it's it's sometimes not easy to who will be a right fit. It can be extremely exhausting, mentally, emotionally. Okay. So sometimes, the buyers, they are pushy. Okay, they push you to the limit to get the price they want, especially if they sense that you are desperate to sell. All right, so these plays major role, guys, when you are planning to do the flipping. Okay, Also, when the competitive pressure, competition pressure is on, when facing an informed buyer, remember that the one with the most option, you know, will win the negotiations, because the buyer might have researched your property history on the market. And if the property has been on the market for a while, or the buyer could assume that you are so desperate to sell and willing to take an offer. So if the buyer actually, sometimes they have found out that you got something, personal going in your life, they might try to leverage that fact by playing, they play with your emotions to get the deal they want, what benefit to them, right? So that's why I'm trying to let you guys know all the factors, guys. So listen when I'm trying to explain that to you guys. Okay. Um, on the actually, when on the flip side, if the buyer thought that you had three other buyers, waiving higher offer, they would have to raise the offer, or they would walk away, right? They're like, okay, that's not my cup of tea, right? Because they see that you're not, you know, you have tons of other buyers. So always remember that it takes two to make a deal. Okay? And always, guys, trust your guts. If something is not right, it's not showing you over and over, you feel your guts are telling you that something is not right. It is true. It is not right. It will tell you. Okay. So make sure when a buyer doesn't have other property options. So uh, perception, it plays a big role, guys, in this factor. So if the interested buyer think you have rejected the offer higher than his, you know, they might feel pressure, to offer you more what they were trying to have you settle it for, because it's possible that the buyer will let you know that, of course, they are those kind of buyers, they are experienced buyer, and they know that it's your property is not the only home in which they are interested to pressure you to accept, what they want you to accept, their offer, okay, their guidelines. So key to being get what you uh, in this process is avoid costly mistakes, stay focused throughout the process. Okay. uh, know what kind of motivation your buyer has without, you know getting burned, and that will come with the experience, you know and listen, guys, listen to your guts, because sooner or later, when your gut tells you a first time about that person, about whoever we're dealing in life, either in life or in real estate or any business, sometimes our guts, but we brush it off, correct? So you need to learn, um, in order to, it will give you the edge and will save you tons of money, the heartache, you know, the emotional uh, downfall, all of that, okay, to you and your family. Okay. So listen, guys, and also let time be on your side. Okay. Time pressure is like it's incapable in sales. In depending on which side of the sale you are in, it can be your either, a best friend or your best worst enemy. You know, you might be end up just with that property that you say, oh my God, what I got myself into this pit, you know, and it's hard to get out. So it's present during, like be present during antique auctions or construction job or bids or car sales, or even when we know that, the children who beg a parent for a chocolate or a candy at the store when you are, right at the checkout lane, right? So time is a powerful tool, guys, in everything in life. Okay. So buyer may come you and ask you question to find out if any time sensitive situations apply, and any eagerness to please them might be it constructed as a desperation on your part, and they take advantage of it. Okay. So that's why, guys, I'm trying to over and over letting you guys know, bringing this awareness to you guys. Listen and learn. And that's why I have tons of, these videos. I'm writing it for you guys. So you don't get burned. But your part is to learn, say truthful, be honest, um, your morals, your values, they play major role like everything else in life. And it also plays in any business, including real estate business, including investing business. So it's time is a big factor, because they see that how long, the house has been on the market, how flexible the seller is, the same applies to like negotiation. If you know, or if you're totally naive person, right? Of course, they take advantage of that. So that because this gives them, you know, upper hand in what they want. That's it. They don't care if you get burned or if you are losing. They don't. Okay. We know that. It's good and bad people in life. So usually they become, sometimes they become, you know, more friendly, um, and to gain your trust, right? And it's actually for their own benefit. The ultimate is that, what these buyers, they, they want you to, you know, because what they want at the end, that you agree to their terms. Okay, they don't care if you get, losing, or if you get burned in this. um, it's all about them, their bottom line. So in, as we know, in relationship, in every relationship in life, okay, including here we are talking about real estate, it's a two-way street, guys. So sometime they have to, if they lose your trust, they have to walk empty handed. They have to walk away, right? That's it. Or sometime they might don't want to walk away empty handed after gaining your trust. So by exercising patience, you can, see the what is coming along, and it's a win-win situation for both parties. And that's why over and over I'm trying to explain it to you guys, these writing these for you guys. It's my own, what I've been through for years of, you know, life in this business, so you don't get burned, but only thing is, when we are naive, we don't know. Okay. So that's why, listen, guys, listen, listen. Um, when I'm trying to explain in these videos, um, because because it's sometimes it's benefit for the other party at the end, right? The more pressure they they exert, it's more beneficial to them. It's always, pressure, pressure, pressure. So whichever side is like more knowledgeable, um, and it will overpower the less informed. Okay. But you learn, live and learn, but you don't have to, if you know these things ahead, you don't have to waste so much money, you don't have to waste so much time, you don't have to waste years of, sometimes this loss is, it takes a years to recoup and to get back again. Okay. So but don't be afraid to ask tough questions. Okay. Because when the buyer asks, for direct answers, your reaction to these, you know if you have to you know um, be ready to answer their questions. Okay. um, the best way to handle like a tough question without, um, with information, if they ask you, your home has been on the market for too long, simply answer, yes, and that's, yeah, of course. And then you don't have to explain all the why it's been on the market or all that, right? um Ask them too, like how long they've been looking for. If their answer, empower you, just as your weakness or weakness to them. Okay. When asked, you are, if you're relocating, answer, you can also let them know that, yeah, if you're downsizing, or if you don't want a two-story because it has a stairs, you don't want to go up and down on the stairs, right? So these things all play a major role in that. um, and you need to keep in mind the price you pay for the house doesn't have any bearing on the current market value. Okay, so and and don't forget to like point the recent sales or comparables around your house, and the improvements you made on your property. Okay, so hope all this help. um, Make sure when they are asking question, make sure you answer thoroughly or without you know worrying about what they're gonna think. Okay. um so hope all this help, guys. Um we covered a lot. um and Again, the important factor, over and over I explained to you guys, that is the trust. Okay, it's the trust between that buyer and seller, you know. So it's and do unto others if you don't want to have it done to you, right? And of course, how I'm teaching you guys, and so listen to these videos and learn from these videos and share it with your loved one you think it will be beneficial to them in their life, and if they are looking into getting into real estate. Okay, guys, we we covered enough again. um but till then, sayonara, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Have a great one. Take care. Bye.